Welcome to the Weekly Dose of Stars. I'm your host, Graham Breitenstein, a professional dancer and movement coach for icons like, Idina Menzel, Lady Gaga, Meghan Trainor, just to name a few, turned professional astrologer, certified oracle card reader, and founder of Drunk Astrology. Each week on this podcast, I'm breaking down the astrological transits that need to be on your radar so you know exactly what energy to tap into and what opportunities to take advantage of in order to achieve your biggest goals, your juiciest manifestations, all while consciously co-creating your life with Team Uni. That's my affectionate pet name for the universe. So get ready. You're about to align your actions, dreams, and biggest manifestations with this week's Dose of Stars. Hello and happy new year to all of the dosers out there. It is a privilege to walk into 2026 with you hand in virtual hand. Baby, are you feeling ready to go? If not, told you so. In pretty much every single space that I run and lead in Drunk Astrology, since November, I have been saying from the cows till the cows come home that the first week of 2026 is no walk in the park. It's no frigging punk. Chiron stationing our wounded healer, granted, going forward, but still, when the wounded healer stops in the sky, our pain points get activated. So if you're familiar with your chart and you know where Aries is in your chart, that pain point got activated last week. Then we have a very highly emotional and emotionally charged full moon in Cancer over this past weekend. Turning points galore with our most personal relationships, especially those around home and family. All of those things come up, right? And that's found family, that's genetic family. So I have received messages galore in the last few days alone that have indicated to me that my prediction for the first week of 2026 was very much true. Now, does that mean that it's awful? No. It's not awful, but it is related to things that you have to see. Full moons illuminate that which has been hidden or that which you have pushed down and avoided, neglected, sometimes consciously neglected and sometimes subconsciously neglected. So you are not in the loony bin if you feel like 2026 has started off AF, okay? But I'm here to tell you that just because we have a new calendar year, that doesn't mean that there's actually a big, notable, energetic switch. The first of those doesn't really take place until February 17th when we have the Lunar New Year. Now, this Lunar New Year that's approaching is a whopper of a Lunar New Year. It's an Aquarius new moon, solar eclipse, and eclipses, as you know, if you have been with me long enough, that is the period of time when the universe is in its anything goes era. Not only that, we are running away from, and that's really the imagery I want to give, we're running away from the year of the wood snake, which we've had for the most part, all of 2025 into 2026, finally culminating and ending on February 17th with the Lunar New Year. But we're running out of the wood snake where it's been about mystery and secrets and scamming and transformation, like the real kind of transformation, the shedding skin, becoming someone new. You're not done with that. All right. That's why 2026 doesn't quite feel different, right? You can consider this the calendar changing over as like one chapter ending and a new chapter beginning, but we don't get to the new book until we hit that Lunar New Year, February 17th. So, first thing, just know you are still in a highly transformative, shedding skin kind of energy for the next month and a half. All right. So, whatever is lingering, whatever kind of vestiges of doubt, guilt, fear, shame, worry, scam, um, any of those like darker corner of your mind entities, if any of those little mental monsters, energetic vampires are lingering in the corner, this is your opportunity. This final stretch of the year of the snake, this is your chance to really just lean all the way freaking in to whatever that shedding process is opening for you, right? It will open up new opportunities. And when we hit the Lunar New Year and we rush into the year of the fire horse, just imagine that visually. A fire, so there's passion, there's energy, there's motivation, there's drive, there is action, and a horse. We're talking unbridled freedom, free spirit, action, energy, momentum, and wisdom, right? So we're going to be eventually, when we hit the Lunar New Year, we are going to be kind of like taking all of the wisdom of what we did in 2025 and here at the onset of 2026, what was necessary in order to become the person who can then look back and go, now I understand why I went through all of that. And now I understand where I'm breaking free, where I'm breaking out, and where I am fully immersing myself in this new unbridled version of myself, this free spirited version of myself, where I'm not worried about outside opinion. I'm not worried about outside judgment. I'm not even worried about my inner critic. I am simply leaving those conversations, those inner monologues, those external influences behind, and I am moving on full force, fancy free, not worried about a goddamn thing but me, myself, and I, and what I am here to do in 2026, right? That doesn't mean like we're all just self-focused, but it does mean we give ourselves the permission to fully develop this new version of ourselves, right? There's no way any of us walked through 2025 and the beginning of 2026 and coming out of it the same person. That it's not possible. So, that being said, beginning of 2026, a little rocky, a little bumpy, a little volatile. I'll give you that. But this week comes in as a welcomed invitation. And that invitation takes on two major forms this week. Okay, first and foremost, we have the Sun-Venus conjunction, which is also called the Venus star point. When the Sun and Venus connect, it happens 2 times every single year, and it activates depending on what kind of conjunction this is. And in this case, we're talking about a superior conjunction where Venus is furthest from Earth and behind the Sun. And when she's in this kind of conjunction, she goes into her Hesperus phase. Now, this is astro lingo. Don't worry, I'm going to break this down for you. But there's 2 different phases. There's the Venus Lucifer, which is the light bearer, where she is a morning star. And that's what she's been for the last 8 months. Okay, and when Venus is in her morning star phase, she is yang energy. She is, when it comes to love and money and connection and relationships, it's about action. It's about energy. It's about creating and generating momentum. It's about generating creative ideas. It's about having to take actions yourself in order to make things happen. But now, This week, when she connects with the sun on Tuesday the 6th, Venus will switch into her Hesperus phase. She's connecting in Capricorn, which is already a yin energy. It's earthy AF. But in her Hesperus phase, all the way through the end of October of 2026, now this is a more introspective, more inward, more contemplative kind of an energy, right? Flow becomes vital to success in relationships, in creativity, in self expression, right? There is not a need to overexert, there's not a need to burn out. That's the temptation. And perhaps that temptation is part of the skin that needs to be shed in the final moments of the year of the snake. I want you to consider that. So when Venus switches into this Hesperus phase, this is more passive. This is more receptive. This is more creative and divinely feminine energy. Okay, so it's funny because in my birth chart, and it's cool when you point this out in your own birth chart, like, were you born during Venus Lucifer or Venus Hesperus? I was born during Venus Lucifer, and I am a very proactive, action-based kind of person. I love taking the first step. I love innovating. I love, following my fear in a way. Not that I don't have my moments of resistance, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm afraid of it, so that means I'm going to lean into it. And so if you happen to be a Venus Lucifer in your birth chart, then the Hesperus phase comes as a little bit of a karmic challenge over these next 8 months because you are hardwired to be proactive and to take action and to be more assertive. But if you're born with Venus Hesperus, oh my God, the next 8 months really opens up this opportunity for you to be in your comfort zone. Well, let me not say comfort zone, but you are in your zone. You are in a pocket of familiarity. So this is a beautiful time to really activate that balance of assertive action, but then equal parts assertive receptivity and flow and recovery. So for those of us that are hardwired for, especially in human design, I'm a manifesting generator. This is where it's like, all right, burnout is the cost, but that's like, or burnout is the repercussion. But if you can accept the opportunity to not push past your natural limit, then this is a beautiful, beautiful phase starting Tuesday the 6th and moving all the way through the end of October of this year. This does mean that towards the end of February, top of March, Venus becomes visible in the night sky. In her Lucifer expression, she is visible in the morning in the east. Okay? So all things Venus, love, money, self-expression, desire, relationships, balance, harmony, art, beauty, aesthetics. There is more that the energy now to activate and to embody is that one of receptivity, one of passivity. That doesn't mean passive aggressive, but it means there's this delicate dance between action and flow. And recovery, right? Recovery becomes more sensual, more present. Okay, so that's the invitation. Should you choose your mission, you will activate and embody over these next 8-ish months this beautiful rhythm and harmony in all of those Venusian themes. Now, the other thing about this week that makes it beautiful and a great place to start here, like to get us acclimated to the universal rhythm and flow, is that we have the Libra Quarter Moon on Saturday the 10th. Now, When you are in a bombastic manifestation practice, like anyone who is in my Moon Phase Manifestor program, it's all about successful manifesting is all about working in flow of the universal rhythm. All right? The new moon hits and then you are in a waxing period of time, right? Where the seeds you plant at the new moon, they grow, they expand, they're getting bigger. You hit the quarter moon after the new moon, and now there's an activation point where your manifestations take off at rapid clip when you do strategic techniques at the quarter moon. And then from that, it grows even more. It waxes into the full moon. And so, because we had the Cancer full moon last weekend, this coming weekend, we will hit that midpoint of the quarter moon in the sign of Libra. Now, this quarter moon and every quarter moon is vital for a successful manifesting practice. And if you are unfamiliar, because I know we have some newbies in the daily doses, if you are a complete newbie to manifesting, all it is strategic goal setting, or in this case, where we can talk about resolutions, strategizing and putting them in motion in flow of the universal rhythm. So this is vital for a successful manifesting practice. If you know that you're serious about writing things down that you want to see happen in this year, and if you're just kind of winging it, hoping for the best, not really paying attention to the rhythm of the universe and how that can support these goals and resolutions coming to fruition, then I invite you to come into my Moon Phase Manifestor program. There is no time like now to really lock into the rhythm of the universe and make 2026 successful. And that's success based on your own description of what that looks like, right? Because this weekend I will be dropping very strategic releasing techniques in Moon Phase Manifestor for this Libra quarter moon so that we get all the way to it here at the onset of 2026. Okay? So those are the main points of this week. The Venus star point, the Libra quarter moon, both actually do play into manifesting, just in different ways, right? Because the Sun-Venus conjunction is taking place in Capricorn. It activates the Capricorn area of your chart, and it gives you even more intel into where do I need to be more receptive and creative and activate this necessary flow, right? There's going to be an area or areas of your chart activated. And when you're that close to where these aspects are taking place in your chart, the more it just unfolds in ways that you will just be like, whoa, okay, now I feel like I'm completely in flow with not just the universal rhythm, but my personal rhythm. All right? Now, just to get to Monday, January 5th, 2026, we start with the moon in Leo. So creativity, self-expression, fun, adventure, spontaneity. But those themes are getting quincunxed out the yin yang. Okay, so the moon in Leo, we know that we want to express ourselves. We know that we want to assert ourselves. We know this is what I want, or you're invited to say, this is what I want. But knowing that there are karmic challenges galore today. There's a quincunx to Venus at 6:56 a.m., quincunx to the Sun at 7:24 a.m., and a quincunx to Mars at 9:08 a.m. All right, so a stack of karmically challenging quincunxes. Now, those of you that have been here for a while, you know quincunxes are annoying. They are frustrations. They are like your annoying cousin just poking you in the side over and over and over again. and saying your name out loud, like mom, 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 right? It's incessant. It's very annoying. And your task with all these quincunxes, especially in relationship, especially in self-expression, and especially when it comes to the actions you want to take, where you are saying, this is where I'm going. These are my strategies for this is how I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do this year. Right? All of those notions are getting challenged with these quincunxes. So you're tasked with finding and uncovering the silver lining. And I will say from personal experience, sometimes that silver lining doesn't come until it's hindsight, right? Until it's in the rearview mirror, you can go, oh. So it might be like the end of the night. It might be tomorrow. It might be the end of the week that you go like, oh, now I understand why Monday was the way it was. And I understand why it needed to be that way, right? The universe is always here to support you. But sometimes we got to go through the sticks. We got to go through the mud. We got to get through the muck. We are even more so under the full moon beams. So the muck has been erupted. It has breached the surface, and now we've got to start dealing with it. But all those quincunxes are stacked in the morning, and then come evening time at 7:59 p.m., the moon has a very healing, flowy trine to Chiron, our wounded healer. So beautiful opportunity for some real healing in the evening time on Monday. Really beautiful opportunity to, even if it's just within yourself, to really just breathe, and and maybe even creatively emote a bit, because Leo does likes to wear its emotions on its sleeve. Now, let's take a look at our bad bitch affirmation, the first of our bad bitch affirmations in 2026. So Monday, January 5th, what vibe you got for us? Let's see here. All right, here we go. Do no harm, but take no shit. Make sure you're always kind, but don't let any motherfucker mistake that for weakness. Your self-respect and boundaries always come first. Ooh. And there's an image of a cat. One is smiling and it's spreading kindness, and the other one is scratching holes in a pillow. And it says, when you mistake my kindness for weakness. Huh? Taylor Swift said it too. All right. That's it. Happy freaking New Year. And hey, all of you that have your Daily Dose of Stars 2026 planner, how good does it feel? I mean, I am reporting with all of the aspects in my Daily Dose of Stars planner. Hope you are too. The hardcover, I am biased towards the hardcover. I freaking love it. If you're new here, or if you haven't got your Daily Dose of Stars planner, head to our little special section that says 2026 Daily Dose of Stars planner to get yours. If you do not have or have not begun your Manifest Big in 2026 journal, I highly recommend you start opening that bad boy this week. There's a number of other aspects that we did not cover in today's episode, but we will throughout the week in the Daily Dose of Stars, that will highly favor and support what you put down in that journal as you walk through those steps. Whew, baby. So the resources are here. If you're brand spanking new, all you got to do is search Drunk Astrology in the Amazon app. You'll see the 2026 planner. You'll see the Manifest Big journal. Hard covers, soft covers are available for both. And Moon Phase Manifestor, like, we're going up, and a freaking away this year. I have so many things to share in all of my different spaces about how things have unfolded, like since the end of 2025, the beginning of 2026. I told you I wasn't going to wait for shit. And I am so glad that I didn't wait, because there's so many awesome, amazing things in motion. And I wish that for you too. Wherever you're at, you're never too late. So now we just have to take into account where the stars are now and how you work with them and strategize with them. And that's what we do best here. So sending you a big old cosmic hug. Happy Monday. Happy New Year. Get the resources that you know are going to help you catapult your success level. And let's elevate the fuck out of our lives in 2026, right? I'll see you tomorrow. Or if you're listening to the Weekly Dose of Stars podcast, I'll see you next week. Bye. Astro Lover, did you love this week's Astro Forecast? Well, just wait until you're inside the Daily Dose of Stars. Right now, you're waking up and feeling pulled in a million directions. You're buzzing with anxiety about your new meeting. You're doom scrolling for 30 minutes before you even leave the bed. You're overwhelmed by news headlines, decisions about deadlines at work, and constantly distracted, which, of course, leaves you feeling off, unmotivated, and stuck in a loop of doing a million things but getting nowhere. My friend, this is because you haven't checked the daily energetic weather report. Riddle me this. Would you ever take a trip to Europe or go camping without checking the actual weather? Hell no. So why are you going through life without checking the energy for the day ahead? The Daily Dose of Stars gives you bite-sized astrological guidance every single morning. So you know exactly what energy you're working with, exactly what to avoid, and what moves to make in order to activate the opportunities that are available for you to seize. So no more guessing, no more chaos, no more feeling pulled in a million directions and saying, what the hell is in the air right now? You'll know exactly what's in the air, and you'll also know exactly what the actual F to do with it every friggin' day. So when you're ready to start co-creating your best life with the universal energy in real time, hop inside the Daily Dose of Stars. The link to subscribe is in the show notes below. Simply scroll down and tap the link. I'll see you there.